Friends, what's going on? This is Andy coming to you again from my Daily Funk Club headquarters here. And today I've got my beautiful custom DNA bass. This is my kind of signature BB model, stands for Big Boy. It's kind of like when I met Ron, I asked him if he would build me an instrument that was a little bit bigger bodied, you know, because like his other, the main DNA bass body is quite a bit smaller, and to me it just didn't quite fit me, you know, in my, you know, physical stature that well. And he made me this instrument. It's a one of a kind, but you can order one if you want one, and it's called the BB. And I love it. You know, it's kind of along the lines of a jazz bass, but it has a lot of cool little special subtle details in it that really make it awesome, you know, for me. And first of all, you know, it's a lightweight swamp ash body, so it's really light, and there's no weight up here. It's got a small headstock, there's no weight up top, so it just hangs and balances perfectly. It's got passive electronics, and I just love the sound of it. It's got a very natural, woody, passive kind of sound. These are custom wound, custom shop Seymour Duncan jazz bass pickups. It has the USA Hipshot hardware on it, fantastic hardware, beautiful bird's eye maple fingerboard, block inlays, and you know, I had the controls are all snugged way down in the back, down here, out of the way, and yeah, it's just a wonderful instrument. I really enjoy playing this bass. playing this thing, and you know, the passive tone for me on this particular instrument is fantastic. And I don't know what it is. You know, I've been getting more into passive basses lately. A lot of my basses have preamps on them. I like to have one there for, you know, bass that I play live a lot because, well, you know, in certain situations in a certain room, I might want a little bass boost or something like that, or mid-range, you know. But, you know, for recording and for certain gigs, you know, the passive sound is just kind of where it's at. For me, I think there's a certain kind of articulation that really comes through, you know, my right hand articulation and the kind of lack of coloration that enables my hands to just kind of, the sound of my hands to really shine through is kind of what it's all about for the passive thing for me. And they tend to have a nice dynamic range, the passive ones, meaning when I dig in really hard, hard like that and put a lot of force onto the instrument, that it starts to kind of bark in a really sassy kind of a way. And I like the way that it sounds at that high you know, high pressure level dynamic when I'm really digging in on the instrument. I like the way passive instruments, I tend to like the way the passive ones respond a little bit better, the way that they hit the amp. And you know, this is a tube amp, beautiful Mesa Boogie Strategy 888 tube head, and the way that it hits the tubes and everything, it just adds a nice, you know, hairy kind of sassiness and a little bit of fuzzy breakup. And I just, you know, I think that translates really well, you know, when it hits all the electronics going all the way down the line, all the way to front of house and out the speakers and everything. The passive bass is just, you know, something about them. And it has a more of a kind of an old school, you know, less modern tonal personality, which for me speaks to my style and speaks to the kind of music that I love and that I play most of the time anyway. So I don't really need that kind of super active hi-fi boomy sizzly kind of sound that often, in fact hardly ever. So yeah, this instrument, you know, the way that we put it together and the way that we designed it, you know, every single detail of it, it's just kind of you know, just it built it with the intention to have an old school sound and feel and vibe. Are really beautiful, ring really beautifully. By DNA Big Boy, handcrafted by Ron Stone. And you know, I encourage you to check those guys out. And this instrument is remarkably affordable for what it is and the amount of detailed hand work that goes into building it. You know, it's completely handmade. All the parts are completely handmade. I mean, besides the hardware, you know, the wood is all carved and there's no CNC machines or anything used, and all the, it's amazing how tight they can get the tolerances in terms of the neck pocket and just all the small details. A couple other quick details I want to mention is that the neck is mounted with anchors. Everything's anchored with machine screws that go in, so there's no like wood screws that screw into the actual wood. There's an anchor in there, and then a machine screw holds that neck in there, and this neck pocket is absolutely, you know, like laser tight. The bridge is countersunk down into the body, so it goes down into the body a little bit, and that's really helping with the sustain. And of course it's strung through the back, and the bridge is also uses the anchors to be mounted on there, and so do the pickups. So there's a few little, you know, extra little details that go into what makes a custom handmade instrument special, and particularly this one. And it just has that great passive bubbliness that really is really articulate. Keeps me honest. You know, you got to land everything when you're when everything that you do is so present, you know, and so heard. Starting to get a little warmed up now. All right, friends, I encourage you to check out Ron Stone and DNA. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Rock on.